What's going on, guys? Luke is here to save your weekend yet again. It's Friday, which means it's time for another episode of the Weekend Watch. So let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Alright guys, let's go ahead and launch off with my first recommendation of the week. And my first recommendation comes from Apple TV Plus and is a TV series called For All Mankind. If you are someone who enjoys astronauts in space and alternate what-if history plotlines, then this show is going to be right up your alley. This show centers along the idea that the space race never ended because the US did not reach the moon first. So who did? What happens when we don't reach the moon first? What are the repercussions of falling just a little bit behind? Tune into For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus to find out. And this week's number 2 recommendation comes from Netflix, and it is a 2-part documentary series called Untold: The Girlfriend That Didn't Exist. This 2-part docuseries follows Manti Te'o. If you don't know who that is, Manti Te'o was a very good college football player who is still currently playing in the NFL, who was the victim of one of the biggest public catfishings that has ever existed. So we get an inside look into how Manti Te'o actually dealt with and what it felt like being the true victim of a very public catfishing that swept the entire country. And let's keep this chugging right along. My number 3 recommendation is a TV series that comes from Hulu this week, and it is titled The Old Man. You know how they always say the past comes back to haunt you? It's even true for old CIA operatives. This series stars Jeff Bridges, who is a former CIA operative, who finds out that just that happens to him. He is flushed out of hiding and must reconcile with his past. Things aren't always as they appear, so tune into Hulu to watch The Old Man, starring Jeff Bridges. And my number 4 recommendation this week actually comes from HBO Max. And yes, it is Game of Thrones. I know what you're thinking. This has been out for a while. We've all seen it. We all remember how bad the last season is in a lot of people's eyes. But this is not for Game of Thrones. This is to get you ready and in the mood for House of the Dragon that is coming later this month. So tune into HBO to catch up and get reacquainted with Westeros and Game of Thrones. And my 5th and final recommendation for this week's Weekend Watch actually comes from Amazon Prime, and it is a TV series called A League of Their Own. I know what you're thinking, Lucas. This is not a TV series, it's a classic movie starring Tom Hanks. And you would be correct, but I'm talking about the TV series brought to you by Amazon Prime called A League of Their Own. Yes, it follows the same premise, a group of women who are trying to make a name for themselves in baseball. But as a baseball fan myself, and as baseball season is really starting to heat up, now is a great time to tune into this workplace comedy and watch A League of Their Own. And that's going to do it, guys. Another episode of the Weekend Watch is in the books. I want to thank you so much for tuning in and making it this far into the video. If you haven't done so already, please go ahead and like this video, subscribe, and go ahead and give it a share for someone who might need something to watch this weekend. If you are planning to watch, have watched, or are going to watch at a later time, please let me know down in the comments what seems interesting to you, or maybe something I should include in next weekend's Weekend Watch. Until next time, guys, Lucas here. I'll see you later.